everybody. I'm the horror movie guy with,
The horror movie Uncle.
and today, well, technically tonight, we just went to the theater and we just watched Black Christmas 1974 on the big screen.
Yeah, they were playing the original Black Christmas at a theater near us, and we went and saw it.
Yeah. So this is gonna be kind of a review, spoilers, just going in for
Yeah.
definitely the ending because the ending is
Yeah.
the best part. So if you've not seen it, watch
So,
it.
yeah, the basic plot of this is that it's a sorority house, and some of the sorority members stay over Christmas break, and they start to get obscene phone calls.
I'll put up a picture of one of the girls
Yeah.
receiving. It's kind of a famous shot of her
Yeah.
on the phone. And so basically what happens, they get these crazy phone calls, and one of the members goes missing, air quotes around missing. But she dies, and the killer puts her in the attic, and nobody knows who
Yeah.
she is.
And then her father comes the next day and is ready to pick her up, for Christmas. And obviously she doesn't show up.
Because she's dead.
Yeah. And then various other people, get killed or go missing. And there's a really interesting sort of subplot that goes on with the main character played by Olivia Hussey and her boyfriend, which is she is pregnant, but she does not want to keep the baby, and he is very much wanting to keep the baby. And it makes for a really interesting sort of red herring that Peter is
gonna be the killer.
Is gonna be the killer, but he really can't be.
He can't. For the people who are like, oh, well, technically, Peter could be the killer. No, there's not really any possibility that he could be in that house throughout the entire.
There really isn't a way. If you've seen the movie as many times as I have, I know
I've seen it twice.
You've seen it twice now. I've seen it probably at least, I would say, about 10 times now, maybe more. But I've seen it enough times to know that Peter could not possibly have been in the house, made the phone calls, and done all of the killings. So it really couldn't have been him. Plus, okay, and also this is spoilers. I'm going to be spoiling the ending of it. So if you have not seen the movie, click off. Watch it, and then you can come back to it. So at the very end, Peter is killed by Olivia Hussey's character, Jess, and then you do see that the killer is still there in the house.
Well, you don't really see the killer. It's just his POV.
It's sort of suggested that he's still there in the house making phone calls and everything.
The final shot of the movie is it's panning away from the house, and you hear the phone.
It's sort of the shot we have on the screen, without the title card, but
then you just hear the phone like.
But anyway, this movie is so great.
It is.
It's actually one of the first, because it's 1974, it's one of the first examples of the slasher movie, like the American slasher. Obviously, prior to this, you have the Italian giallo films and so forth and everything, and there's Psycho, of course. But really, with this movie in 1974, you get the first sort of DNA of what would become the American slasher movie. You can see sort of hints at what would become Halloween, hints at what would become Friday the 13th, are all in this movie.
For example, they do a bunch of point of view shots from the killer when he's about to kill, and that's kind of how Jason does it in the movie.
And very much Michael Myers as well.
Too, and it kind of just like you never know where they really are until they pop out of a corner.
And yeah, really, Bob Clark, who directed this film, really had a really good instinct for creating these really intricate shots where he would be at the point of view of the killer and showing just enough where you get a sense of it, but you never really know who he is. You never really know who he is, why he's doing it, like what connection, if any, does he have to
Yeah.
the sorority. I mean, you don't really know.
That's what kind of makes this movie really good is just the killer. Like by the end, you don't know if they have any connection or if it's just some crazy guy who's going after these girls.
Yeah, it really is one of the few movies of any sort where
Yeah.
there is a killer, let alone slasher, but really of any kind of movie where there's any kind of murder mystery whatsoever, where there really is no resolution.
Yeah.
You don't find out anything really.
Yeah, like in Scream, like spoilers for Scream, you find out it's Billy and Stu, and like forward and other Screams, and then obviously Halloween, Michael Myers, and
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, Jason.
Most slashers, you pretty much go in knowing who the killer is, or in Scream, obviously it's
you
a
find
murder
that
mystery,
at the end.
or in something like Knives Out or
Knives
something
Out,
like
yeah.
that. You sort of figure out as you go along. This you don't, and that might not be satisfying to some people. That might be sort of irritating to some people. But to me, I think that that's what makes this movie so interesting and so unique.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I love horror movies, and this is a great horror movie, but it's just a great movie in general.
Yeah, I always say to people who haven't seen this movie that this is one of my favorite movies. Not just one of my favorite horror movies. This is one of my favorite movies. Period.
Yeah, there's just so many elements of it where it's not just like straight up horror, but like you really get to know the main character too.
Yeah, the main character, Olivia Hussey's character, Jess, Barb, played by a young Margot Kidder, who, of course, most people know Margot Kidder played Lois Lane in the original Superman films with Christopher Reeve. And also John Saxon plays the police chief in this movie. Now, horror fans will know John Saxon because he was in A Nightmare on Elm Street. He played Nancy's dad, also a policeman in that movie as well. Yeah. John Saxon, if you know anything about John Saxon, he's a very great character actor. Oftentimes will play a police officer, as he does in this movie and in Nightmare on Elm Street. But yeah, really good in this movie. Really good cast all around. All the characters.
I mean, even the first kill, I forgot her name, but
Claire.
Yeah. She, for her like 1.5 scenes, I mean, she does a good job.
Yeah.
All the characters, even like the killer who you don't know, does a good job of like even the one scene where you see his eye, like he does something with his eye where it makes it really creepy.
Really creepy, and the phone calls, the obscene phone calls that there's really kind of intricate sound design going on there. And if I remember correctly from the behind the scenes of the DVD and the Blu-ray editions that I've had of this film, most of the phone calls were actually done by director Bob Clark himself, where he did it after the fact, and he sort of did it just sort of himself and then mixed it afterwards. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. But anyway, fantastic film.
Great movie.
Really, really, if you haven't seen it, hopefully you have seen it because we just spoiled a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, we spoiled a lot.
If you haven't seen it, it really is the perfect horror movie to watch this time of year.
Also Krampus.
Yeah, Krampus, but we might do a review.
We'll probably do a review.
Krampus, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely see it.
And it's a good one, really. I mean, maybe not for younger kids, but like really good for the whole movie or whole family. My grandma and the horror movie uncle's mom watched it with us, and
She loves
she
it.
loves this
She
movie.
watches it with us every year when we
Yep.
watch it, and
And
she absolutely loves the movie.
and my mom watches it. She loves it too.
Yeah.
Like this is a good one for the whole family, and
I mean, yeah, obviously not the
not little
young
kids.
kids, but I would say actually just on that, it's not super violent.
Yeah, it's not that like gory.
It's not that gory or bloody or anything. It's scary.
It's psychological kind of.
Yeah.
Of like the phone calls, like the phone calls are the scariest part.
Yeah, the phone calls are probably the scariest part,
Of
and that's
him
probably
screaming
where
at you.
like a lot of where the R rating comes
Yeah.
from is where the phone calls, because it does kind of get explicit
Yeah.
with the dialogue of the phone calls. So if you're more sensitive about like foul
Swearing.
language and
Yeah.
swearing, then this movie's probably
They're
not for
kind
you.
of-
But
But like if you're fine with that, but like you're a little hesitant on gore and stuff, then this is a really good horror movie for you.
Yeah.
There's like no gore. Really, the only gore I can really remember is like when you see the blood on
the one
Phil-
kill, Barb,
Barb or
Margot Kidder's.
Yeah, her kill.
Yeah.
And it's not even that bad.
It's not that much, really. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
you wanted to give a rating on this?
Yeah, so for me, and I'm 100% sure, 10 out of 10.
Easy 10 out of 10 for me.
This is a great.
This is in the annals of one of the greatest horror movies of all time.
Yeah.
For me, I think most people who are horror fans agree that this is one of the best.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and comment any other movies you want us to do a review on. If you want us to do a review on like Krampus or Ginger Dead Man
or Silent Night, Deadly Night,
because we all know we're gonna watch.
Yeah, we're gonna watch them this year. So any Christmas horror movies that you guys want us to do, just let us know.
Yeah. So thank you and goodbye.
Bye.